All right, guys. Welcome to the Mark and Russell Show. And today is the very first episode of Table Talks podcast.
Yes, all those.
The communication channel.
The discussions.
The discussions of the world. And this is really the key part of our channel. And today we thought we would start with I think, kind of a cool topic. It's going to be me and Mark talking about these things.
What the hell are these things?
These are drones.
You mean quadcopters?
Drones.
Drones.
Drones, man. Drones. It's just a discussion. If you guys have opinions, let us know. We're interested. Because this, by the way, this is all opinion.
Yeah, this is all opinion.
This is all opinion. This is just fun, good times. We're bullshitting about drones.
Yep.
And that's what we're doing today. So, Mark's never flown a drone, have you, Mark? You're behind the times.
I've flown this amazing ZY MAX5SC. This thing is awesome. It shoots in 320p. Actually, it's about 144p. It's amazing. Once it gets about 10 feet, it just... you can't see anything. I'm not even kidding you. It actually does have a camera on this thing. And I have flown this like 2 times before. It crashed and it never worked again.
And then Russell came over. I came over and...
yeah, and he made it even worse.
He broke it.
No, but seriously, this thing got about 10 feet in the air, and I just looked around my neighborhood, and I couldn't even see, I'm telling you, like 15 feet out, I couldn't even make out what it was. I was like, I know that's a tree, because I live here, but like, you couldn't even see the detail. I'm like, who would use this thing? It doesn't make any sense.
And there's no technology behind it.
No.
Because, let's jump in,
this makes sense. DJI.
This is DJI. What a leader. And before we jump on this drone,
awesome.
Dude, I know you heard the news today because I talked about it a little bit ago. The Spark.
Yeah.
How fucking cool is the Spark?
DJI.
Beep
Spark.
that out. Sorry, guys.
No, we're cussing in this one.
We're cussing.
This is unfiltered.
This is unfiltered. Okay, cool.
Podcast.
So this is how we kind of are. We're talking about how. So whatever. Today we're talking about like what is a drone? How is it used? Why is it used? Why is it the next big thing in technology? I think it's the next big thing in technology.
Oh, it definitely is.
I think this is the future.
It came quick, too.
Of everything. Oh, dude.
Right?
Like 5 years.
Oh, yeah. It may have been quicker than that. It's crazy. And now it's especially starting today. It's available to everybody who wants one. It's price range wise with the new Spark. What? It's like $400, $500. By the way, we're not endorsed by any of these. We're not endorsed by DJI. We're not paid by anybody to say anything. These are our opinions.
But DJI, if you want to send one.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to send one, we'll totally take one. But the Spark does look cool.
Dude, the Spark, I'm a filmmaker and a photographer. You're a filmmaker. We both like tech. I'm a gearhead. You guys can make fun of me. Mark's not. Mark's more of a logical thinker in the filmmaking world. I think with pixels and frame rates and things, but we're both creatives.
Yeah.
But the Spark...
The Spark is pretty cool.
It has nothing to do with creativity in my mind. It's all about pure fun. And I like that.
Yeah,
it's great
true.
for YouTubers. It would be great for our show.
I would almost say it's not just quality. It's not just a like the Spark isn't about having the best quality. It's 1080. 1080.
It's about having fun.
Do you know what the frame rate is? 60?
No, 30, I think.
30, probably, yeah.
Probably. But it's
12
megapixels still. It's the same camera as this.
Yeah, that's
and this
crazy.
is only 2 years old. They took this and made it this big.
It's the same camera? Or do you mean sensor?
Same
Okay.
sensor. Not Tim camera, sorry.
Yeah, so same sensor, which is impressive. So it's actually 4K down res to 1080.
The 1080, it might be 60.
It's probably 60.
Might be. It just came out.
Yeah, 30 or 60. Either way, it's like $400 or $500. This thing fits in your pocket. It's like a quarter of the size of this one. It's smaller than the Mavic, and the Mavic, I would say.
But you can't compare. I can't compare it to the Mavic.
What? Because
the Mavic's like is. I would almost put the Mavic at like, so there's got to be 3 levels, right? You have like the consumer, the prosumer, and then the professional.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the Spark is the consumer. I think the only consumer drone they have.
Right.
Because then the Mavic's like
prosumer,
and this thing is a. By the way, this is the
Phantom 3.
Which is still awesome.
Yeah.
I hate people talking about how it's no good. This thing's freaking awesome, dude. You know why it's awesome?
It's not even that long. It's not even that old.
It's not. It's freaking awesome. It's amazing.
Really, what's only advanced is the body, the mechanics. But I mean, the picture quality hasn't. I mean, it's improved with the DJI 4 Pro, I'm sure, but it's not that big of an improvement. And I think it's also like the sensors and that
the
like
4 Pro though.
oh yeah, pretty legit.
Pretty big.
Yeah, it's like what advanced was the sensor technology. It's obstacle avoidance, which is so sick. It will avoid trees,
dude,
all
the
that
Spark
stuff. I don't know if
has
this one does that. Does this one
well,
do that? I don't see any sensors.
There's no sensors. So that's what DJI has been working on, is sensors. And let me tell you, I actually got to shoot.
That's so genius.
Oh yeah, I shot the Phantom 4 before. No, Phantom 3 Pro, which is the next version after this, and it had sensors. And I ran it at a wall and it stopped, and I was like,
that's pretty awesome.
I was like, this is the future. These things have more technology than some cars do.
Yeah. I do want to mention, okay, so how about the GoPro? What was it called? The Karma?
The Karma.
Right? Yeah, the Karma. Okay, it failed, but from my understanding, it's because of the software. DJI has been in the drone business for a while now, and they've been perfecting their software. The biggest issue with Karma coming into the game, they're trying to compete with DJI, but they don't have the software down yet.
They don't have the hardware. That thing is crap. Sorry, GoPro. I actually really like your cameras.
I hope they keep doing better, but since it is their first run, you know, that was my biggest worry. I was like, man, they're trying to go against, like, they have the Mavic and the Karma at the same time.
It's not even a competition in my mind.
Yeah.
Mavic just
because it's like
it.
DJI is compounding. They're taking all the info and all the experience that they have from these earlier models, and they figured out so much because of that, and they're able to build this really, really impressive technology that right now cannot be beat. These are the leaders, right? I mean,
at least in the consumer end.
Yes, you're right. In the
consumer,
consumer,
actually, I take that back, because I mean, as a film nerd, as a techno nerd, I'm looking at like these $30,000 drones. In reality, DJI has a thing called the Inspire. Have you seen the Inspire? The one with the wings and stuff and everything? Dude, that thing shoots 5.2K raw video. Okay, like, it's not even, they're like consumer. I'm sorry. No, they're dominating the professional world.
Yeah.
They're pretty much dominating up until the point in which you need a helicopter. Which I filmed that helicopter, so it was great. And I love drones.
Right.
I was like,
But imagine the cost difference between flying a drone compared to renting a helicopter, you know, having to pay for the fuel.
Well, the helicopter that I fly in is without a shot over, which if you guys don't know what a shot over is, let's touch on it real fast. A shot over is a 6-axis gimbal stabilized system for cameras. So the problem with lenses and cameras and all this technology is the wider your lens is, the easier it is to stabilize. The longer it is, the harder, because you're so zoomed in, it's really hard, right? So shot over, you can shoot at like 600 millimeters and it's stable at 100 miles an hour. It's a $500,000 piece of equipment, right? Not always needed. Those cost a lot of money. So going back to helicopter versus drone, we'll jump back on that. Helicopters, the one lease I was in, is $600 an hour. An hour. Now, remind you, let's say the helicopters we were using flew out of Prescott, Arizona. A lot of times we were doing stuff in Laughlin, Las Vegas, or the Imperial Valley for the desert trucks. When you pay $600 an hour, that includes the time it takes for him to fly to your location. That's not free. I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, cool, so $600, like, I'll meet you in Vegas, and we'll film for like 3 hours, it's great. And he's like, yeah, it takes 3 hours to get there. So you're paying $1,800 just to get there. And you're not even, you haven't even seen the helicopter, and round trip is over $5,000. Right?
Or you put that money into a drone.
Inspire. If you have that kind of money, it inspires.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so crazy how these things are just dominating right now. Okay, so how about the presence on YouTube that we keep seeing with these drones? They're taking over.
The good or the bad?
Man, that's the question. Well, I guess it's a mix of both.
There's a lot of bad.
There's certain people that are killing it, that are doing awesome work with drones. Casey Neistat, right? Of course, that guy is killing it with drones. I don't even know who else, to be honest. Everybody else, I notice it, and it stands out in a bad way.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I'm not a big YouTuber.
Maybe not everybody, but at least from what I remember, it's like, it just seems like people are trying to capitalize on the drone movement, but it's almost like people are afraid to jump out and try new things. They're really taking what Casey's done and just trying to copy that. Everybody kind of does the same music. They do the same editing, the cuts. You know, it's cool. It's great. I'm stoked that people are using new innovative technologies to get new innovative shots, but ultimately...
It comes down to what you always tell me, man. It's story.
It's story.
It's story. And Casey understands it. Casey understands when and when not to put a drone up. So many other people, including myself, I see them going to throw a drone up. I'm not a drone pilot. I'm neither are you.
Yeah.
We're not drone pilots, but they're fun as hell.
Yeah, they're cool.
Casey, though...
And it is the future.
Is it the future?
Well, I mean, it's not going to take over, but they're not going anywhere. That's what I mean by the future. I think they are going to be an integral part of your bag. You know, like eventually we're going to have drones that are the size of Sparks, or maybe a little bigger or something, between the
shooting like 4K at 1,000 frames a second.
And then you're just you're gonna have it right there next to your DSLR or whatever, and you just pull it out, throw it in the air, and you get both shots or whatever. I don't know. Ultimately, I think they're here to stay, but
in filmmaking,
you gotta wonder. Yes, but it's like right now, it's such a new thing, and you know, a lot of people are using them, but ultimately, in story-based structures, it just we haven't seen much of it. We've seen Casey use it, and it's not even for, you know, ultimately what he's using it for are transitions, are intros, are ways to, or outros even, ways to, even the peak of a video, you know, like just like the shot, like at the end, like just really powerful moments. But nobody else is really doing it. Everybody else is kind of using them for transitions, and it stands out. It doesn't flow. It doesn't.
It doesn't. I agree with that. But jumping right back to story real fast, I don't know the name of this guy. Mark's gonna probably say it instantly. The Life of Pi director. You know who he is?
No, I don't.
You don't actually. Oh my god! If you guys don't know Mark, you'll learn. This guy knows directing and movies, and he's great at what it is.
I haven't seen that movie.
Really? I heard it was really good though. We'll have to maybe sit down and watch it one day.
It's just like it's like the life of a pie. It's like this poor pie, you know, his bird, and he's just like chopped into pieces and eaten alive.
The crust is burned alive.
It's a horrible story.
Well, DJI hired him. Actually, I haven't seen it yet. I feel bad for saying this because I'm like, oh, it's really cool. They hired him to do a video, to shoot an entire video on the new Inspire 2 that just came out. And the Inspire 2 is I think 5.2K at 50, at 30. 4K at 60 raw. It's like a little red. It's a and the footage. They say it's a baby Ari, which is pushing some buttons if you don't know what that is. And he said in the interview, which I watched behind the scenes, I didn't watch the video. He said one of the biggest problems he had when they approached him, he's like, well, the Inspire is great for aerial. We loved it. We used it on a few feature films. He didn't disclose which ones though. But he also said, what am I supposed to do about all the land shots? Like, well, you got to use the Inspire whole shoot. So he used it like a 3-act gimbal. He picked up the thing and just ran with it and shot a movie on the ground, narrative, talking, storytelling with a drone while the camera's attached to the drone. Like there's a shot really cool where like he walks up to this kid and his kid's talking, him and his dad are walking down the street. I think it's like set in the 40s. And all of a sudden they throw it and the camera flies away. And it's like this dynamic like,
oh man,
that's the future.
That is great. That's what I want to do. Like, I want to do a story where the camera floats around and then it slowly comes into people. Like, who are, you know, maybe they're walking down the street and it just catches into this conversation, right? And then maybe it looks like one giant shot. And then, but obviously there would be transitions in certain, maybe when the camera, you know, spins or something, there will be cuts that you won't notice.
Like Birdman.
Right, like Birdman. And that would be so cool to be able to fly in, catch a conversation, fly up to like an apartment window, and then some lady's like cooking. Maybe it goes inside, and it's like floating around. It's almost like you're just like a fly, like, and you're catching these like small looks into other people's lives. See, that's where the creativity needs to come through with these new innovative technologies. Is that you got to break out from what other people are doing. Yeah, Casey's got his thing down. You can't do like the little like SoundCloud music with the choppy cuts and, you know, New York like in white bold text like everybody's doing. You gotta stop that. You gotta make your own identity in the game. You gotta follow your own creative flow. And
that brings
these are new tools to allow for that.
Is a drone for everybody?
No, a drone is not for everybody.
Because I don't think it's for me.
Yeah?
As a wildlife filmer and action sports guy, they're getting used all the time. Mm-hmm. We actually had a drone. It made headlines across a lot of tech websites. Mad Media, John's buddies. We work for a guy part-time. We do some printing stuff in our normal day-to-day lives. But he knows a company called Mad Media, and they did an off-road buggy video. Sorry, I'm blanking. I should know this. And they used the Inspire, and the thing flipped, and it crashed into it.
Whoa.
Yeah, really, cool. They destroyed the Inspire and all that.
That'd be a cool shot, though.
It is an awesome shot. But also, that's really the extent of what we're seeing drones.
Right. Yeah.
So, like you're saying, Casey does it really creatively.
Right. But what else can you do with the drone?
What else can you do with the drone?
Well,
the landscapes.
You know what pops in my head? Yeah, it's landscapes. Like, I want to see more... I want to see areas that are hard to get to in the world.
Did you see the Chernobyl video?
The what?
The Chernobyl video they did?
No.
Dude, they took a drone. They took a
Going
drone
to Chernobyl?
into
Oh my
Chernobyl.
gosh.
Amazing. I think DJI sponsored it. I'm not for sure on that. They sent it in these stupid trucks, and they sent it in. It was really cool. Eerie stuff, man. But yeah, that's the thing for drone.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna skip
War
ahead.
photography.
I don't know.
We don't have to go there. We don't have to touch on war photography, but that's an interesting approach.
I just scare the shit out of people.
I know.
Could you imagine?
They may shoot it down.
Holy shit!
But it could. But that's you're not going to put people's lives at stake.
But they're doing that. The military's doing that.
Okay.
But okay, so we're moving away from filmmaking, like we talked about.
Yeah.
You said something I didn't even know. I need to Google it. Drones that scan the ocean. I wanted to touch on that.
Well, I only saw a prototype, so I'm not even sure.
I guess drones and science.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right. Totally. Well, right now we have satellites that are scanning, taking photos of the Earth, and we're stitching them all together, and that's how you get things like Google Earth. But imagine, they've already scanned the ocean floor with satellites somehow, but at least the depths.
It's hard. I don't understand.
So yeah, I don't know what they're. I think they're probably trying to look for ocean life or something. It was just some sort of like dome. It looked like a half a dome.
Oh, you know what? I know what you're talking about.
Like
I've seen this actually. Yes, I've seen this.
There are 8 propellers. So I don't know. I don't know what they're. It's something to do with the ocean. Some sort of bio.
Why not they're using drones in Africa to catch poachers?
Interesting.
Yeah. So all you guys out there that think like drones are only useful for filming because that's all we actually see them in mainstream media. No, drones. I think filmmaking is such a small portion of what drones are.
Drones are being developed for every single type of
everything.
For
everything.
Like science, for art, and everything in between. Like from serious to family time.
How long till our phones can fly?
Ooh, interesting.
That's my next. How long till DJI makes something where you just be like, click? So, pod racing. Have you actually ever seen YouTube videos?
Yeah, totally.
I couldn't think that fast.
Of drone racing.
I know. And by the way,
nuts.
They're not this big.
No.
Everyone who's like drone racing, I can race. You can't race this.
No.
These do like 25, maybe 30 miles an hour. They're smaller than this, but they're doing like 80, 90 miles an hour. And you ever see them crash? Dude, they hit pillars, it's done.
Just shattered.
It's just, there's a video of a guy who crashed into a pillar because they race at like abandoned malls and buildings and stuff. He crashed into a pillar, and then the guy turned to him and was like, well, I gotta go get it. And he's like, get what? He went to a suitcase and he pulled out a brand new one. This is like Formula 1 racing, man. You break it, it's like, just put a new one on there.
Jeez, dude.
And they're not cheap. Well,
I can't imagine.
They're kind of cheap. You can get like $300. But then they get up to like $600 or $700.
And you wear the goggles, right? Or
the goggles.
What are they called?
FPV, first person view. First person view goggles. DJI just came out with something.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And they're supposed to be the best there is.
They look sick, actually.
Yeah. They're $700, which is a lot of money. But apparently they're like, I don't even know. I haven't used them. Apparently they're amazing. I have a feeling though that DJI, they haven't done it yet. I'm going to put my prediction right now that those goggles are also VR capable, and they have a VR drone coming out. I see it coming. I see something where, like, instead of having a normal, like, a camera, that maybe they're going to come out with one that, like, lifts the legs and has a VR camera on it, like a 360 camera. And maybe the goggles are, like, your way to look around and stuff.
Well, the goggles, you can look around with the camera now.
Well, yeah, but you control the camera now,
yeah,
which has limitations.
Which is so cool, though.
It does.
You can fly around and then look around with your head, and it will move the camera on the gimbal, which is pretty badass.
Yeah, but I'm talking like I think when the videos are done shot, like you can put the glasses on somebody else and they can look anywhere they want.
Yeah, that's good innovation. Yeah. That's a good next step for this for drone footage.
Because VR is getting big, drones are big. Mm-hmm. DJI, my opinion, almost fact is the leader. I think in drones. They're gonna do it.
Yeah.
It's gotta be. They're gonna put a friggin' VR camera on this thing.
That'd be cool.
Be a really cool experience. Be a cool, like, business idea is to get a VR camera on the bottom of these things and get the goggles and take people out to, like, national monuments and have, like, 20 people with goggles. Because on VR, you're not controlling one. You can look anywhere you want. And have, like, the drone operator fly over, like, the Grand Canyon, and then everybody can just look where they want to look.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, you could do like a tour of Grand Canyon, and then you can say, okay, we're not going to hike all the way down on some mules because it'll take us all day, and you don't have the money or whatever. So here's some goggles we're going to wear, and we're going to sit here, and I'm going to take you down there in a drone. Yeah. That could be really cool. Or even fly up so you get a higher perspective of
without having to pay for a helicopter.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Which it doesn't replace that, I don't think.
No, it doesn't.
But it's cool.
Yeah, it's a nice alternative.
It is an alternative, yeah.
Now, what about flying a helicopter? What about flying a drone out of a helicopter?
I'll tell you this. I was in a helicopter in Las Vegas a few weeks ago, and we were flying for a race, and that question actually came up.
Really?
Yeah, it did. No joke.
Wow.
The question came up, well, not exactly. The question came up of, you're not allowed to fly drones near helicopters. And I guess being a smartass, I was like, hey, dude, I talked to pilot Derek, and I was like, be honest, man. Like, this multi-million-dollar thing and this little plastic thing.
Right, you just chop that thing up.
It would just chop it up, right? And I'm like, dude, come on, don't feed it in the media. He looked at me dead seriously. He's normally a funny guy. He's like, dude, if that thing hits our tail rotor, we're all dead. I was like, no. He's like, if a drone hits a tail rotor, by the way, this is an R-44 helicopter, which is normally what you film out of. It's a basic helicopter. He's like, we're done.
Damn.
He's like, those little things will destroy helicopters. If it gets in the main propeller, I guess it's almost as bad. Like, it just wads things up. I didn't think so. I thought it was like a giant blender just whack right through the middle of the thing.
Well,
But no, these are dangerous.
That leads to what we were, that leads to the question, what kind of restrictions will ultimately be put on drones? Are we going to see drones, like, really, really limited? Like you were talking about.
Speaking of which, limited. It's funny you bring this up. So, DJI just announced the Spark. Did you hear about the other thing they just announced? Mm-hmm. So, FCC, or Federal Administration, or FAA.
Yeah, who cares?
Who cares what it's called? Well, we should care. But whoever it is, you used to have to register your drone.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, in order to fly it.
Oh, I saw that.
They just pulled they just pulled the need to do personal. Now, if you're filming and making money, you still need to register it. But if not, you don't have to. DJI said you still do. You have to register your drones with DJI. If not, you won't even be able to fly 10 feet away without them shutting off now.
Yeah, I saw that.
They want to be able to shut things off. Like in Israel, Iran,
I see.
in war-torn countries, you can't even turn on a DJI. It will immediately it will recognize through GPS and won't do it. So yeah, go back with, what you're saying. I'm saying, we're seeing rules being implemented.
Right.
And everyone's like, you can break rules.
That's a good step. Though, right? It's like putting restrictions on it, which, ultimately can be a bad thing, but in this case, it's actually a really good thing because you're not going to be crashing airplanes or crashing helicopters, right? Or taking them into, national parks or whatever.
Or a Padres game.
Genius. Or a Padres game like we just recently saw, which is genius. But it just shows that, I think what's going to happen, though, is that I think DJI is going to learn from this. I think they're going to say, man, we can't have these things crashing into anything anymore like that. Instead of having them home, back, or whatever, there's going to be some sort of new programming, some sort of new technology that's going to fix that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm assuming...
Oh, the new Phantom 4 Pro? Advanced? Whatever it's called. Has sensors on every side.
Yep.
Top, sides, bottom. Do this thing.
And there's two of them on each side.
Is there?
Yes, in case one breaks down.
Really?
Which is smart.
Dude, you cannot hit something, I heard.
It's like a Tesla, dude.
Oh, that's a discussion right there, Teslas.
But you know what I mean, though? It has, the sensor technology, for,
they share.
Autonomous driving. Oh, maybe.
You think, Elon Musk works with DJI, maybe?
I bet they reverse engineer.
I bet that. Do you think so?
Yeah.
Who? DJI or Elon?
I don't know. But I think anybody who, figures out some sort of sensor technology is like, oh, that's genius. We should add that to our thing.
I think it's amazing that they have that level of sensor technology.
Yeah.
In a $1,000 thing.
I know, it's kind of crazy.
Mind-blowing.
And it's obstacle avoidance, which is just so crazy. Dude.
Which means it doesn't even... By the way, obstacle avoidance, for those guys who don't know, doesn't mean that it just stops and doesn't fly.
No.
It means it will correct the flight.
Right.
It will continue flying.
Right.
And I'm just like, huh?
Yeah, it has to correct in the air. And, that's got to be... That's processor, that's battery life. You know what I mean?
They're still flying for 30 minutes.
It's so crazy. Not only that, it's filming at, say if it's at 4K 30, it's, 30 frames a second at 4K. It's trying to capture those and then save them onto a freaking flash drive. Just
it's
like crazy. 60 while trying to propel itself into the air. And if you've ever held a DJI battery, this thing is not light. It weighs close to the same weight as the DJI. Okay. I mean, pretty damn close. I'd say the DJI maybe weighs a little bit more.
I've never done that before. Till
right
now,
dude.
That is actually that's closer than I thought.
Crazy.
Well, that reminds me of the joke I made today, dude. DJI is not making quadcopters. They're just learning how to fly batteries. Because the Spark is just a flyable battery.
That's true.
It's crazy.
And as battery technology gets better, we're going to see better, longer-lasting drones. We're going to see just way better. That's another thing. I mean, I guess just to mention is like the limitation of battery technology right now. That shit's got to develop because right now we're just so limited. I mean, this thing is so big and bulky and heavy, and it's
extremely dangerous.
And it's intelligent. This is high end. But when you hold it, you're like, damn, dude. Battery technology's got a long ways to go because this is still pretty primitive, which is I'm not bashing on. I think it's actually pretty awesome. It's still really cool, the system and everything, but it's got a long ways to go.
It reminded me though. I don't know if this is possible. So if anybody out there is an electronic engineer, I'd love to hear your comments on this. I thought about this about a year ago, and I was discussing it with my dad, who is a machinist, and he didn't really understand it. You have a battery, right? And batteries are charged via power output, like a generator or a wall plug, right? So you plug this in. If you guys don't know how this works, you plug this in. It has connections, and it discharges the battery to power the propellers, right? I wonder if there's any way that while it discharges to the propellers, that while the propellers are spinning, it's also like a mini generator that kind of recharges the battery at the same time.
Right.
Because, right, I don't know if that's a stupid idea, but I feel like...
No, it's actually not because... Rad, the company, created... They create electric bikes, and they have this technology that when you brake, it actually charges the battery. Because it's like a...
When you brake?
When you put the brake on, it's... because it's using the...
I wonder if it has like a piston that when you're pedaling, it pops out, and that it like breaks your bike, but it keeps spinning this, and that's what charges it.
Well, wouldn't it be a piston because it's electric?
A gear, like a...
Yeah, it is. It is some sort of gear. Nate would actually know this, but it's like a it's a forced. But basically you have that momentum, and then you're braking, so there's power there, and then somehow that brake is like transferring it back into the battery, which is interesting. Yeah, it's so cool. So it's like some sort of resistance that allows it to charge. So it makes you wonder, what could they do with this type of technology that could allow that? Could they use the auto-correcting of the wind? The power, but that would just be micro, charges, but it is interesting. It's pretty advanced. It's way beyond our freaking understanding.
Somebody's working on it, I guess.
Yeah, I'm sure some autistic badass is figuring it out. I'm a huge fan of that. It just makes you wonder, man. I don't know. Like the future of these drones, this is so early. We're seeing such an early. I mean, these are like almost.
You're seeing really good, and you saw really shitty.
Now you see nothing. It's funny. People look at this and laugh.
Like, how do you laugh at it? See, I think that's a problem with society, and that's going into other videos that we'll get on discussion about. Like, you always need something new. What's funny about this? This 10 years ago would have blown everybody away.
It's just because
why is it not cool anymore?
It's just because technology moves so fast. You know what I mean? It's moving so fast that when people see stuff like this, they're like, "Oh, look at that big bulky thing. They already have this out." It's things are just advancing so damn quick. Back in the Industrial Revolution, man, like things couldn't move that fast. You were able to buy something and have it for a good chunk of your life. That's why they made things to last back then. Like my grandma has a toaster from like when she was in her 20s. That still works.
Works better than probably what we have.
Oh yeah, she's never had to get rid of it. And it's just like because back then it was built to last. It was built with like actual, everything wasn't plastic, but. I always criticize that. I was always like, TVs aren't meant to last. They, and they're not. Computers aren't meant to last. Nothing. Everything has a life date to it, right? But if you think about it, it actually makes sense because technology moves so damn fast. People aren't gonna nobody's gonna stick with the DJI Phantom 3 for the rest of their life. They'll be like, why would I? 10 years from now. This thing will be so damn outdated. Can you imagine, dude?
But it also doesn't give warrant that you need a new edition every year.
No, it's true. But it's just moving so fast. It's like a landslide. It's almost like Yeah, it just makes you wonder, where's that plateau? Is there going to be some sort of plateau with this type of technology? All this technology. Like, I'm shooting with the A6500 right now, which is one of the newer Sony cameras, which is 4K at 30. And it's awesome.
In 6 months, it's gone.
Oh, yeah. In a year or two, people are like, oh, why would you use that, man? You can use a Sony 7800, which is,
Which
whatever.
brings me to a point that I always going to bring up.
It's like,
and
slow down!
As everyone keeps watching this show, you're going to learn a couple things. One of the things is I'm a huge Red fanboy. Don't own a Red. I'm a huge fanboy. He's not. Not that he doesn't like the cameras. He just doesn't understand it, which is fine because he's not a gearhead, which is what makes this show so cool.
Don't speak for me, son.
Hey, man.
No, it's not that I don't like it. It's that it's a
like
joke.
their philosophy. Their philosophy, though, is king to me. Out of every technological person out there, this year, just to jump ahead here, they released their new camera, right? The camera released 10 years ago, you could still trade in for the full value you paid for it 10 years ago
that's awesome.
to get the new one.
That's pretty cool.
Okay, this new camera this came out with, in 2 or 3 years when they came out with a new sensor, not a camera, a sensor, you send everything you have back. They put the new chip in, they send it back to you. So not only is it less money to upgrade, but a whole other topic, it's less waste, man. All this technology is causing way too much waste.
It's true. They're not reusing any of this stuff.
No.
We need to be melting this plastic down and rebuilding. But, yeah, dude, you're right, though. I got to give Red that because they do that.
And
that's pretty cool.
Someone else just did that this year, which I applaud. And you guys will learn I'm a fan, but I have a lot of negativity towards them, is GoPro. GoPro came out with a trade-in program this year. Take your old GoPro, you trade it in and you get some money back. Awesome. DJI offer a trade-up program.
So, okay, that leads to the question. Is that the next step in a lot of technology evolution is modular, modular abilities, the ability to replace to
certain aspects.
To rebuild, so you start with the fundamental, you start with some sort of core aspect.
How old is your desktop?
Oh, just like a desktop.
How old is your desktop?
5 years.
5 years old. You can go to Best Buy.
I've upgraded. That's the thing. When it was brand new, I bought it, but it's been upgraded because it's modular.
It's modular. You can go to Fry's right now and put the best of the best in there.
Yep. And it'll be a brand new computer.
Brand new computer.
Right? Yeah, exactly. That's a good... And so more things need to move that way. It's like, imagine a DSLR. Well, I guess Red is that in a sense. We need that on a broader scale.
Well, we do have modularity. I know we're getting a little away from the drone topic, but that's fine.
It's not. I mean, it's still... Because it could be a future technology they could utilize.
But I think this is interesting because we're going to jump to modularity back to DJI real fast. DJI just bought, this last year, a company called Hasselblad. And if you guys don't know Hasselblad, they're really innovative in photography. It's a medium format camera. They go way, way back to the originals. If you don't know what medium format is, it's just a really big... If you're a photographer, you should know medium format for the most part. If you're a cinematographer, IMAX. So it's IMAX sized, right? Huge, beautiful background blur, the fall-offs. Medium format's really good because they're also modular. So when you buy a medium format camera, like a Hasselblad camera, also very expensive, maybe... I would rather pay more money for a modular system. That's just me.
Yeah.
So like your Sony has
I'm not gonna
everything...
pay Red, or I paid $5,000 for a freaking record button.
So your Sony
shit.
is all built in, right? So a Hasselblad, you have a lens, you have a body, and then you have the sensor and the screen, everything in one. So you pull this piece off and upgrade sensors and screens as you go on.
Sick.
Well, DJI just bought most Hasselblad. They were going down. Medium format photography is not something everybody buys. It's not cheap. It's like $20,000 for a camera. Right. But they bought it, right? So I expect very soon that they already have one of their high-end drones has a Hasselblad built in. I expect we're going to see modularity come sooner than we think to DJI.
I hope so.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, that's a huge...
I want to be able to pop this off and pop in some RAM, right?
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine?
Amazing.
Holy crap. Because that solves your problem right there. Now you don't look at the Phantom 3 and say, well, cool, man, I spent, what? Like, how much were these brand new at the time? $1,200? Yeah.
Oh,
I spent $1,200, but now I can get a Mavic for $1,000, and it's like smaller, fits in my, almost in my pocket. I can take.
Spark.
Yeah. Now you have the Spark, so it's like, damn, man, I spent all this money. Well, imagine, like you're saying, where you have the thing, and they don't, they get to a point where the side, shit, I don't know. Actually, as I'm talking, I'm seeing how it's actually not going to work because as technology gets smaller, it changes. Like the Spark is a different size.
Well, you have to have different needs.
True.
You have to have that. You have to have a consumer, a prosumer, and a professional.
Right.
But it's just like RC cars. Did you ever do RC cars?
Yeah.
They're modular.
True.
This is
Right.
RC.
Yeah, that's true.
Why can't we upgrade the motors to go faster?
Right.
Why can't we put retractable landing gear if we want to pay the extra money on it?
Yeah, or be able to take out the guts and put them in something smaller, a smaller case.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then snap in the camera, or you switch out the camera parts. You know, get a lighter.
Why can't we pop out the brain and have a body that has 6? If we want to have a bigger camera, and be like, so it's like a not a hard drive, but essentially like you'd have a mini hard drive system. You just pop out and you like pop it in different things, and maybe the hard drive breaks in half. You know, maybe it's like maybe you have like, here's my phone wallet, maybe you have like a full system, and you're like, you know what? I don't need to shoot 4K 60.
And
slide it into like a Spark system.
Yeah.
Dude, modularity is king.
Oh my gosh.
And it's coming.
Well, it's also, I think it's evolving as quick as like origami technology. I don't know if you've seen stuff like that, but they're using like the advancement of origami to make things smaller. Like it's the same.
Are you talking like paper?
Right. Well,
like
right. You know what origami is like like where you fold certain things to create certain sizes.
Little swan, they pull.
Right, but the genius in origami is like being able to take bigger things and to compound them down smaller and into like very compound things. So it's almost like taking origami technology, which I can't think of off the top of my head, but like certain things use like parachute is basically a type of origami where it's like you need to fold it a certain way to get a certain effect.
Okay.
Well, imagine like taking that compounding technology and then you advance it with modular systems where you can like you get really, really creative with it. You can, you know, it's not just a block that you snap things in, which would be cool, but you could like, you know, maybe you could make these, take the propellers off, flip them in half, pull off a piece, and now they're smaller. Maybe you can make a smaller piece out of what, or make a smaller drone out of what you already have. You can pull out the battery, put in, you know, like pull these out, flip this out, you know, maybe it lifts up, and then you can take off this piece, and then you can take each one off, right? And then you have a smaller body. Maybe you can unattach these. You have this, and then you just put in a smaller battery, smaller pieces, you know, like you could take modular with
I'm just thinking like
advanced
Transformers
technology.
at this point.
Basically, Transformers is a form of origami. Exactly.
I mean,
you're right. No, as silly as origami, the word origami is, that is exactly what I'm talking about. Is being able to fold something up like a transformer.
Okay. No, I think we see this technology in RC cars. I mean, I'm an RC nerd. I don't own one because I'm not spending that much money on stuff.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. It's upgradability. I mean,
right.
One thing I don't give a DJI, also, hopefully maybe they'll tune into this, is your pro-level cameras, your pro-level stuff, your camera comes off. I shouldn't have to buy a new freaking camera every time I buy a drone. Stop.
Oh, yeah.
Your camera technology is better than GoPro. Your camera technology is on the same level as some DSLRs. Let us choose what we want. If we want HD, here you go. If I want 4K 60, do it. I shouldn't have to buy a new freaking camera every time I buy a drone.
Which goes back to the modularity.
Exactly. Modularity is the future. I think we just, that's the key of this thing.
Yeah, that makes so much sense for drones. Because that way you can build something, you're like, you know, I need a drone that, I don't need it to go really fast, but I need it to last for like 2 hours. Okay, then build a bulkier, bigger, heavier drone. You're like, yeah, but I don't want to have like a 5.2K, like I just need it to last, I need this to last longer. Cool, we can actually modify what you have to get that effect.
Maybe you're filming a soccer game that's 2 hours long, and you don't fly for 2 hours.
Good luck with that, enjoy that, that's fun. That's not fun.
That's another joke for another day. But you know what? I just dissed him, and I'm going to go back and applaud him. GoPro did it. GoPro, you use the GoPro camera, which you can use anyone you want, and then you pop it into the drone, you fly it, and then you pop it off, you pop it on a stick, and now you have a hand. I applaud that. That's modularity.
That's genius.
It was. Except
I love
their
that.
software failed.
Yeah, unfortunately it failed, but it was such a cool
concept.
Yeah, it was such a great leap for GoPro, and it's exactly what they need to do. That's exactly the step GoPro needs to do, is to get into sensors. Yeah, is into these things.
That's a gimbal.
Gimbals.
They had a great gimbal.
Yeah, get into gimbals and drones. That's brilliant. That evolves what they already have. That just adds to what they have. And my only, it bummed me out that when I was looking at that Karma, and I was like, man, it's like the same price as DJI's.
But it comes with a lot more, technically. You get a really good camera.
It doesn't come with a camera.
Yeah.
You have to buy additionally. That's like a $1,300 piece.
No,
Like you have to buy the pack.
For $1,200, you get a drone, a remote. Which, by the way, the GoPro remote.
Oh yeah, that is pretty sweet.
Pops up with a really nice screen. You get the
gimbal.
The gimbal thingy.
Yeah.
You get the camera. You get a memory card, and you get some extra batteries for $1,200. Yeah.
Okay.
And a backpack.
And a backpack.
And a backpack.
So okay, so that's
if DJI wants to buy the drone and the Osmo, which is fine. Everybody has their own thing, but DJI, yeah, dude. When they go modularity,
the Osmo's that camera, like the little handheld camera.
Yeah.
Which can only go 6 feet away from its controller. In case you're wondering,
how much more?
Don't even bother with that.
The Osmo's cool. I've used it.
It's cool, but
they make one for your mobile phones too. It's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not shooting on the Osmo. Actually, I really like that technology. I just wish it would go a little farther than 6 feet. But actually, yeah, whatever.
It's coming.
Yeah, it'll be here.
so early.
Yeah.
That we don't. Yeah, it's super early in infancy here. But you have to understand, DJI is making killer gimbals. Their high-end professional gimbals are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, like, their Ronin things are...
Okay.
They have a new one that you can, like, put on the front of the car and put, like, 30 pounds of camera gear on it and drive at 100 miles an hour, and it's perfectly steady.
Yeah, that is cool.
It's like, what?
That is cool. Well, okay, so I kind of want to backtrack go back to movies for a second. Because one thing about the one thing about these drones is, what can you do with them other than just landscape shots and city shots and sunsets and some... What else?
You can fly them into dangerous situations.
Yes.
How many times do we have explosions in movies? And the old explosion shot is like they're zooming out and they're running away. Well, what if they're running at the thing?
Yeah.
Like, you don't want a cameraman. Fly a freaking drone into that thing.
Fly
through the flames.
How about... Okay, well, this wouldn't be for a movie, but you could shoot volcano action. You know what I mean? Being able to get real close to a volcano. I mean, they do it with helicopters, I guess, and like zoom-in cameras.
No, they do it with the drones too.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, there's actually a really famous... I think I showed you the photo of like this photographer's taking a picture in National Park, which is illegal to fly drones in. And he looks through his pictures, and while the volcano's erupting, he sees a little white dot.
That's pretty cool.
It is cool.
I fly a drone towards a volcano.
Why wouldn't you? You're not going to get hurt.
Right. It's genius. Like you're saying, that's genius. Like flying into dangerous situations.
Yeah.
I mean, firefighters, well, that goes back to a helicopter. There's going to be a helicopter. Say if you had a big fire, you're going to have a helicopter flying around, news outlets and all that kind of stuff. So I guess drones
in America you are. What about everywhere else?
True. There is a use there. I'm sure somebody somewhere will want to use it.
What about Amazon and drone delivery? Well,
say if you're like, if you need to see really far.
Drones are kind of limited, but they're also the future. And going back to movies, because we're both movie guys.
What can you think of any movies that have used drones other than The Hobbit?
The Hobbit used helicopters. They did use drones for a few shots. I believe the new Fast and Furious used some drone action to get really, really close to cars.
Makes sense.
Because you can't get helicopters that close. You can't get a helicopter under 30 feet, I believe. I haven't. I've flown at 45, and I was like, oh, shit, we are close to the ground to 100 miles an hour. Drones are great.
I can't think of any movie that I've seen.
That's a good question, man. Drones and feature films. You guys know any? Let us know in the comments. I'm interested. They're coming, though. I think that's the problem, too. Hollywood's got to adapt that technology. Hollywood is like a bunch of old men. They don't like change.
No.
And these things, they're probably like, yeah, let the youngins do it. We're going to get the hellies out.
They're like, we figured out the perfect format to make a movie. We're not going to change it.
Yeah. But as the younger generations...
Get off my lawn with that damn drone.
Hey, Gary, put the helicopter... No, we're going to fly... Gary, we're flying drones. I'm flying the helicopter today.
What? I don't see much use for it other than replacing shots. Like right now, the first vision that comes in my head is The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight had a lot of really cool, but I'm sure it was IMAX level cameras, like shooting cityscapes, flying through the city, or quote unquote Gotham, which
maybe we shouldn't talk just about Hollywood though. I know I'm a wildlife guy. Planet Earth 2 used drones. Used a lot of drones.
Right. It makes sense for nature documentaries.
It does.
That is really where it's going to excel. Because you're going to be able to... Once they get them quiet enough that they can get near, like, really close to stuff, it's going to be really interesting.
And longer flight times. Imagine having a drone that you can't even hear that flies for 3 hours that you can, like, put over a kill that the lions won't even know about. And you start getting this extremely natural behavior that we've never seen before.
Yeah. Oh, did you see that video where those tigers were, like, jumping at that drone?
Yes!
That was
crazy.
Cool.
That was insane.
Stuff like that. Which is, again, dangerous situations.
That helicopters can do.
Right. And, I mean, flying with the herds... or, you know, yeah, like in Planet Earth 2, like, that is genius. But as far as cinema, I don't see Hollywood adapting too much drone technology other than cityscape shots, stuff like that. But then again, I'm sure they already have helicopters.
Doing it, though. So maybe Hollywood's the exception. Maybe not.
Yes.
But commercial, sporting, nature, wildlife,
absolutely,
product,
indie film.
Oh, yeah, well, let's talk indie film.
Indie is huge.
If you shoot indie films, unless there's something I'm missing, you most likely can't afford a helicopter.
Right. Well, a drone makes so much sense for indie filmmakers because it actually ups the value. Because you're adding, like you said, like helicopter-style shots.
You're chasing a car or a horse and wagon. You're doing things.
Even a shot of just the character 20 feet.
I mean, think about it, dude. If you're an indie film production company, which means that you are probably hoping to make a few films, a helicopter is probably going to cost you $5,000 a day. And yes, it's awesome, but that's just a helicopter. You add a shot over, that's another $20,000. You're at $25,000. You can't a day. So drop it back down to $5,000. Let's say you're gonna hang out the side of the thing here. $5,000 gets you one of the best drones and cameras and everything they make. Mm-hmm. It's like, hell, if I wasn't gonna make a film and I'm like, oh, we need a helicopter, I'm like, how about we just actually buy a tool we can use for this film,
right?
The next film,
exactly.
The next film, the reshoots of those films, my production company,
right?
That's where drones are.
Because part of being an indie or a filmmaker is slowly collecting gear. I'm sure we're same with photography, where it's, you know, it's like you add a couple more tools to your belts, and a drone is a great one for us. You know, everybody outside of Hollywood basically makes a lot of sense. Like, if I was making a movie, 2%, right? And if I was making a movie, I would try to integrate some sort of drone technology, some shots. I would absolutely want it because it does up the value. I mean, just I don't want to reiterate already, you know, on Casey Neistat, but I mean, what he's doing is, you know, he upped his value of the typical. He upped the production value, I want to say, of daily vlogs by adding the drones.
Oh yeah,
that changed the game, and they're like, oh shit, man, that's genius, right? So I mean, there's other avenues, there's other creative outlets that people just haven't tapped into, like Casey, who figured out, like, oh my gosh, I can actually use this to part of my narrative. I can actually, like,
and he doesn't have the most badass one either.
No,
he has a Mavic. Why? Because it makes sense.
Run and gun.
Pick it up, throw it up, boom.
Yeah. Just like using your cell phone. Sometimes, like, you don't want to set up your DSLR for a shot. You just pick up your cell phone and you get the shot, because the narrative, you know, most of the time is key. And so for people like Casey, it makes sense. But like I'm saying, going back to the creativity, there's got to be things that people haven't touched on yet.
I got one. What? I got one for Hollywood. We talked about explosions, right? If you guys ever seen behind the scenes of Hollywood, how many helicopters do you see in the sky?
Like one.
Only one, because you can only do one.
Right.
Because it's
do multi-shots.
Imagine doing a rare shot you only have one shot of, and you have 15 drones flying at the same time. It's going to be expensive.
Right.
But you get 15 different angles.
Imagine just
talk about creativity.
Imagine just renting them rather than buying them.
Right.
You know, it'd be way cheaper.
Well, the helicopter's like, oh, we're going to blow that up. Hold on. Why do we have a helicopter? I mean, yeah, it's a good shot. Let's have 4 drones. One coming there, one coming there.
And maybe you sacrifice one. Or at least put one in, like, danger. Like, we may lose this one, but we may get a shot.
But you might make a better story.
And if you notice, movies that do explosions where they show the same... like, say if, like, a bus explodes in a movie and you see that explosion, and then they'll show the explosion from another angle, and they'll show it from another angle. Boom! 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 You know, it's like they try to show, like, the impact of the explosion. They're showing from these different angles, but they're always static shots from the ground because they have some camera sitting there and they're fucking 100 yards back from the camera. You know what I mean?
You can probably fly a helicopter with explosions, but there's got to be some freaking rule sets that I wouldn't even want to get into legally. So legally, it's like we're blowing up. Well, a helicopter got to be 100 yards.
You can do a top-down shot of a shot. It can explode upwards towards the camera. How cool is that? Which we saw on Independence Day, but that was a model. That was a miniature. I don't know if you know this, but they built the whole city. They flipped it like this, and then they had the flames going up. And so they had the camera up above, and then so it looks like this wall of flame is like going through the city when the Indians when the Indians blow up the city, when the aliens blow up the city, and you have this wall. That's from a top-down miniature because you're getting the flames flying up, which is interesting because you can actually get top-down shots. That'd be really cool. But as far as narrative, it's not gonna. I don't think it's going to do much for narrative. I think they're gonna do more for production value, for getting specific, hard-to-reach shots, for creative shots like, like there's that short video going around a while ago of the Superman guy. It was like it looked like a first-person film, and it was like a guy like acting like Superman. He's going around, he's like punching guys, and then he just runs up to like on a street, and he just goes boosh, and he starts flying, and they're just using a drone. It was just so genius, and it's just like, dude, that's awesome. Things like that make sense, but like I think really what's not used as much as it should be is having a conversation with somebody and being able to fly out, like I was saying earlier, and transition into some other scene. Being able to fly in down towards people and just like catch into their conversation.
Right here. This is the problem.
What do you mean? Yeah, the noise. Well, you gotta, like lapel mix or something. I don't know.
What about the wind they cause? There's problems.
There are problems.
It is. But I think at the end of this discussion, as we start kind of winding it up here a little bit, drones are, whether you agree or whether you don't, I agree 100%.
They're here to stay.
They're here to stay. They're innovative, but they need fixing.
Yeah. Well, it's early. I would almost say we're in like the prototype age of. I mean, we're in the Model T.
By the way, the Spark, the advanced. Did you see the Spark video? No, maybe. No, dude, you can like Jedi mind control thing. Like you can like push your hand.
Oh wait, Model T was Tesla. Shit, sorry.
Model T was Ford.
I thought Model T didn't Tesla do one?
No.
Model T?
Not that I know of.
Or was it Model I? I don't know. Tesla did some Model something. S, maybe? I don't know.
So the Spark, you can push and pull with gestures. It can recognize your face.
Oh, yeah.
You can make things like this, like picture frames, and it will take pictures.
Yeah.
Dude, you don't need a remote.
Yeah, that's the next future, too.
You can tap yourself on your phone, and it's going to follow you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think ultimately it will be good to have a screen so you're like, you got me, right? Like, I didn't say, no, you better be, like, switching to the program.
The Spark is the only DJI that has 3 different modes. You can either pull it in your bag with no remote, no phone, and you can fly within, like, 15 feet. Cool. Let's say you want to go 100 yards, though. You pull out your phone, you can go 100 yards. Or you want to go up to 1.5 miles, you can pull out the remote they have for it. So you, as a user, get to choose. Dude, the Spark, while it's not the best 1080, 30, 12, I actually am going to go on a limb here and say it's probably the most innovative product they have.
Well, it's run and gun. It's probably the most user friendly.
Oh yeah,
it's gotta be.
I'm probably gonna get one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Because then
you guys want to review one?
We haven't even flown this one yet. We're going to, and we'll probably do a video that maybe, I don't know. I mean, because like we said, this is a little bit of an outdated technology, so it's like.
But it's good.
But it's still good. It's fine. It's great. But it's like,
for the beginner,
are people going to be? Does anybody actually give a shit about seeing more, Phantom 3 videos? I don't know. But as far as the Spark, that's one that would be really cool to do.
Maybe we should do it. Let's just give Spark a new review. Yeah. If you guys want a review on Spark, let us know.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, if you do,
we'll try it out.
We'll try it out.
Because at the end of the day, we're about trying to figure out what works best all around. We want to see the pros and cons of everything. And it's...
Nothing's perfect.
No. And it's interesting. That's what's interesting about it.
Yeah.
So... That's it.
That's it. I mean, this was our first big discussion. We got a lot of topics lined up.
Yeah.
I mean, if you guys haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so. Let us know what you guys think. We got reviews coming up. We have a new series. So we have basically 3 series we're working on. We have a review series. Mm-hmm. We have our sorta, hopefully weekly. We're gonna try our damnedest to
like a weekly like video podcast.
Which is
discussion.
What this is. Just BSing. Sometimes it's about a lot of topics. Today we chose drones because of the Spark.
Yeah.
And then we have the adventure series, which we're gonna keep that on the down low.
That's gonna be exciting.
That's gonna be really
Just
exciting.
say the review. We review the technology. The discussion. We we talk about a lot of different technology. We don't really review things. And then the adventure is actually putting some of those technologies to use. I think like short films or...
You know what? We should take this out to Mount Laguna and fly. That'd be good.
Ooh, that'd be awesome.
I think I spoke too soon.
Why?
Because was that in the plan? Should they know that? They should know that.
Oh, yeah, they can.
Maybe they should.
They don't give a shit.
Either way, drones are here. Subscribe to us. Tell your friends about us. Do what you got to do. But I want to make sure everyone knows that's watching this video. We're trying to be as open and friendly as we can.
Yeah.
We're a personality show. We don't agree on a lot, but we agree on a ton. We're great friends. And I think that's what makes the dynamic really good. Mark has never flown drones. So I think we might do a quick little 2-minute video of his first flight. What is it like when a beginner flies? By the way, I'm not a beginner at flying drones, but I am nowhere near an expert. Not even freaking close.
Yeah.
I can fly it and land it, and I was really excited for that. Also, before we end, Mark had an I told you so moment about 4 months ago involving drones. I was one of the people who hated drones.
Oh, this is a typical Russell thing, though.
It is. It is. I'm like,
He hates everything until he tries it. Oh, it's awesome, dude.
This is amazing. I did not understand drones
dude.
at all. I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like,
drones are stupid, dude.
They're stupid. And then I flew it, and I was like, Mark,
dude,
I get it. I understand what this thing is. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of those moments. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Any last comments?
No.
We're done.
Please don't subscribe. I really, God, no.
I want you to.
You're gonna get a lot of bad jokes from me. I'm gonna put that out there right away. So I keep filtering myself. I keep trying to prevent myself from making these jokes.
These podcasts are unfiltered.
Yeah, we're gonna be unfiltered. We're gonna just. That's what we want to try to do here. We're new at this, but we really want to jump into it like almost head first. We're going to be putting out videos as much as we can, and we just hope that you guys enjoy this stuff. And what we really want from you guys is let us know what you like to see. What technologies do you want us to try? What things do you wish people talked about more? What things do you wish people actually reviewed? Like,
is there a taboo
cheap, crappy items
or entertainment?
Yeah, I mean.
Is there something that's not being covered out there? I mean, I love YouTube. I think there's a lot of things missing, and we're going to try to cover those.
Yeah.
I am a photographer by day. That's why I'm an action sports photographer, for those who don't know. You're an indie filmmaker, I believe, is what the terminology is. I really don't like, for people out there who want to know a little more about me, I don't like perfection. I don't like these YouTube videos that are all about perfection. I think they're annoying because they make people depressed. And we talked about that in the other video about lighting. Don't get depressed, please. Just
things aren't perfect.
Things aren't perfect
in the world.
I'm so tired.
You're never going to be perfect. You're never going to be the best filmmaker. You're never going to be the best photographer. You're never going to make the best movie ever. So just make what you can. Exactly. And too many people, too many artists take something and say you have some footage and you edit it to death, and by the time you finish it, it doesn't even look like what you wanted, and it's just a mess. It's a Frankenstein of a video, and it's just frustrating. You can nitpick things too much, or you can just let yourself be and allow yourself to make videos.
Enjoy the craft.
Take photography. Yeah, and enjoy the craft. And that's what we're doing here. We're doing this unfiltered. We're doing this raw.
And we're learning as well, dude.
We're learning as well. So we're hoping that in a year from now, we're going to learn a lot. We're going to have better videos.
I mean, I've been shooting for... I'm going on my 7th year of professional photography. I'm only 24. I think I started too soon. By the way, everyone out there who wants to be professional, when you're like 20, 21... No matter what everyone tells you about all this hustling and work, I'm totally for it. But I think part of the problem in entertainment now, going off on our own little tangent again here, is too many people they only think about the money. It's all about the money. And drones are fun.
Right. But money doesn't come without some sort of passion in it. You're not going to be hustling on things you don't like to do.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're hustling, you're enjoying it. But if you're enjoying what you're doing, that comes across to people. People pick up on the passion and they pick up on the bullshit. And we're trying to come at this through passion rather than some cookie cut out perfectly structured, unrealistic, unhuman thing. We're not trying to manipulate anything. We're not trying to trick you into thinking this is better than whatever. We're just trying to be us and make good stuff. Entertaining stuff. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you come back for the next one. They're just going to get better and better. We're going to keep investing in this stuff. Better technologies, better tests,
better everything.
All kinds of stuff.
And if you see us at events, don't
don't even talk to us.
Don't. We don't want anything to do with it. I'm just kidding. Come say hi.
Yeah.
We'll answer your questions. Mark's going to have a link to some of his work in the bottom of these upcoming videos.
Yeah.
Where he's working on a website. We're going to link my website down there. Feel free to ask anything you want.
We're going to be at Cine Gear this year, too. So
Are we going to Cine Gear, by the way?
Absolutely.
We're going to Cine Gear.
June 2nd?
Next weekend.
6th, something like
We're
that.
going to Cine Gear next weekend.
Which is going to be another video. So if you're at Cine Gear next week,
and he's going to drop a red, so everyone, while he's going to drop it, and...
no. I'll be red, because people beat me bloody.
By the way, all this stuff about Red, I know we're getting way off topic, and this is who we are.
Yeah.
He talks so much shit about Red next weekend, we're going to show him what a Red is.
Yeah.
The time has come.
I talk so much shit on Red, actually getting my hands on may change my perspective, or it may not. We're going to find out.
I kind of hope it doesn't. It's interesting.
I hope it doesn't,
all right.
too.
Until next time, guys.
All right,
we're going to
guys.
end it here. Have fun. Good night.